What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review. And today, I am talking about the latest offering from San Francisco blackened heavy metal upcomers, Nite, with their album Cult of the Serpent Sun. This also came out on March 14th, this time on Season of Mist Records, and this is the band's third studio full-length overall. I'm pretty certain I went over their last album that came out in 2022, but for some reason the video isn't showing up on my channel. That, or I must have listened to it and forgot to review it. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, this is considered blackened heavy metal, so it's just essentially, musically it's just classic heavy metal, but the vocals are a bit in that black metal veneer. However, I'll talk about it as I get into the music. So we kick things off with the title track, and immediately, classic heavy metal riffs, harmonies, melodies, and pretty much a straight-up rocker. Like, it feels like something straight out of the new wave of British heavy metal scene in the early 80s. And the vocals, like I said, that they are a bit in the blackened realm. However, I would personally say that the vocals remind me of the frontman of Tribulation when it comes to, like, those gruff vocals. So that's why there's certain parts of this album that makes me think of Tribulation in terms of like the vocals on top of more classic heavy metal oriented stuff. But also some pretty cool tribal drums show up on this track, which leads me to talking about the lead work on this album. And the lead work on this album, it just feels like straight out of the 80s, like almost virtuoso shred, but man, these solos pack a lot of punch. Even harmonized leads as well. So these guitarists really know how to play and really add more melody to an album that's already pretty melodic for the most part. So yeah, I absolutely love the lead work across the board on this entire album. As far as like notable leads, you have, say, in the track Crow Feared the Night, you get some of those harmonies, but in the song The Mystic, it's more atmospheric. Like, it's not really flashy, it's just more about adding more atmospheric weight to that section of the song. Carry On, it gets into harmonized leads, and then the closer, Winds of Sokar, there's like multiple leads that all provide something different, and it's really, really sweet. The track Skull, this was maybe the fastest song on the album. It's gotten to this like Iron Maiden, almost thrashy gallop, but the melodies remind me so much of Diamond Head quite a bit. And even get a little thrash beat at the very end of the song. Crow Feared the Night, this one just goes for like a sleazy rocker kind of vibe, and dare I say, kind of reminds me of early Ghost. Like, I'm talking the first album. Like, it has that kind of catchiness to it, that kind of like darker tone to it. And then The Mystic, I would say, was probably the most unique song on the entire album, especially with the melodies. Like, they're probably a little bit more folky, especially how it starts. You get these like folky melodies, and it's even soothing, and they slow it down to almost a doom metal, especially at the end after the big atmospheric solo comes in. But yeah, I really like this song for it being more on the folky side of things. And then in the second half, you kick off with The Last Blade. You begin with some acoustic licks before it gets into this like big triplet swing that again feels like Iron Maiden, but it's very catchy. Like, there are so many catchy hooks across the board on this entire album, not just on this one track. Carry On feels like Iron Maiden meets King Diamond a little bit, like, because there are riffs and melodies that remind me of late 80s, early 90s King Diamond. Tarmut, this one goes a little bit darker. Like, there's darker melodies, and it's more of a mid-tempo stomper, and the vocals are a little bit lower in the register. There's even some nice clean melodies and awesome bass flourishes. But then the closing track, Winds of Sokar, starts off with soaring harmonies, and again, it's another big mid-tempo rocker. And again, it has a lot of catchiness. Like, again, it feels like we're back in the 80s. And I love the drum builds into all the different solo sections that you get that bring the song and the album to a close. So yeah, musically, it's all about just having fun. It's classic heavy metal to the bone. It's rockin'. But of course, you do get some cool nuances here and there, like the folky melodies that are in the Mystic, as well as the darker tones of Tarmut, the slightly thrashier tinge of Skull, and even just the sleazy rocker that is Crow Fear Tonight. So a lot of these songs have a lot more variety to it than just being like classic worship. Even if they are worshiping the old guard, they're doing it very, very well. It's like we're taking the time machine back to 1982 or something like that, which, holy crap, this album does feel like a trip back in time. Production-wise, I really like the production. It sounds straight up 80s, and the mix is pretty good. So I don't really have much to complain about. Like, maybe a couple of songs I didn't think were as strong as some of the others, but thankfully there's enough stuff going on within the songs to keep it interesting. So overall, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I actually thought this was some great stuff from a young band that's proven that classic old school heavy metal is still alive despite, the more darker vocals. So if you are a fan of, in terms of classic bands, I would say Iron Maiden, Diamond Head for sure. Modern bands, I would say Tribulation and perhaps In Solitude. Definitely check this out. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But until next time, thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.